Greetings from 2500 ProMaster Avenue, aka the Mobile Man Cave, also known as the back of the van. As you can see, I'm slightly overdressed to be expediting today. Actually, I was out taking a jog, and apparently, if you wear this, it tends to help avoid getting shot while jogging. Just a joke. Okay, the reason why I'm overdressed is I actually went on an interview today, and the reason why I'm making the video is for you expediters out there and you van dwellers out there in general. During the pandemic, I guess the question I'm going to be asking today is, what's your hustle? Assuming your primary source of income has been greatly altered from the pandemic. In the expediting world, we have lost a lot of freight, and with the freight has went our revenue, so a lot of us are sitting at home either collecting unemployment or doing this myself, trying to find alternative sources of earning an income. I've been in service for at least almost 2 weeks, and I'm pretty much in the freight lanes, and there has been one 300-mile load that has come up. So that's how bad it's been. So anyway, I'm going to ask a few things in regards to starting off by, what are you doing during your downtime? Are you getting involved in the gig economy? If you've ever heard of the term gig economy, that would be your Ubers, your DoorDash, these particular ways of earning income that are kind of almost like what we do for expediting nationwide, but they're generally localized to a certain area, but you get paid per job, just like we do in expediting. Whereas in Uber, you get paid from, for the passenger in your vehicle. You take them somewhere, point A to point B, you get a certain amount of money for doing that. Not a lot either, by the way. Same thing with everybody ordering out right now, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all these different particular types of door deliveries. That is also what they would consider the gig economy. So a lot of the things you do in the gig economy are done through apps. So you got an app, Lyft is another one, obviously, just like with Uber. Lyft is another gig economy. So I'm kind of wondering, what are you guys doing in your downtime? Or are you just at home literally collecting that stimulus and unemployment? That's, there's nothing wrong with getting some free money, I suppose, according to Bernie Sanders. So wondering that, or have you just went full-blown W-2 into a different career? Myself, I have a background in engineering. I have an MBA, master's degree, and I've always I always had other options. But like a lot of you guys, we're in this business not necessarily because it pays us a lot of money, but we like doing what we do. It's kind of like the civil servant positions. You don't become a nurse or a cop because you want to get rich. You do it because you enjoy the work. And expediting is no different. You enjoy the freedoms, you enjoy being on the road, you enjoy the changing environments and all types of things. I've obviously made my own little mobile man cave here. I've had a great delight in doing that, and the idea of giving that up, it touches me. I'm not happy about that, and it's looking more and more like that may ultimately be what happens. Can't avoid it, because like I mentioned in the other video, our business has pretty much gone south. And not only has it gone south from what's happening with the pandemic, but there are plenty of opportunists out there exploiting the few remaining drivers that are on the road. And that would be brokers, that would be apparently my video just changed, but that would be brokers, that would be your dispatchers, and anyone else trying to get you to do loads for far less than you used to making. So having said that, we definitely need to take in consideration that things may not come back to where we were for quite some time. And now keep in mind, as an expediter, you weren't making a lot of money to begin with. So there is not a lot of blood to be squeezed from the turnip. You got guys out there running loads now for 70 cents and below. Now I'll tell you another thing too. The company I run for, and I'm running for one of the largest companies in the business, you get paid a set rate and you get paid a fuel surcharge. That fuel surcharge has dropped substantially since I've been with this particular company since August of last year. So coming up on about 9 months or so. When I started, we had a 17-cent fuel surcharge per mile on top of what your base rate is. But we had a 17-cent per mile fuel surcharge. And that was in August of 2019. It is now mid-April. I think today is like the 10th of April, or not, mid-May. May, sorry about that. It is mid-May. This is about the 10th or 11th of May, if I can get my days correct. May 11th. And right now that fuel surcharge is 10 cents per mile. Or at least it was on the last load I took a few days ago. 10 cents per mile. So it's dropped 7 cents per mile. Now, there's no doubt fuel in America during this pandemic has dropped. But the way it has dropped is not uniform. So a good example of that would be when I took a load about 2 weeks ago, it was at 11 cents per mile fuel surcharge, which is pretty low. And my load went from the state of Iowa to the state of California. In California, they are still charging $3 plus per gallon in a lot of locations throughout California. Certainly once you get north of Bakersfield, heading up towards Modesto, Stockton, San Francisco, in that wide open space, you can easily pay $2.50, $3.50 a gallon. That does not match that greatly reduced fuel surcharge. And fuel is varying rates like it always is. I mean, Pennsylvania, Illinois, California have the highest priced fuels generally in the country, but right now there are big swings, even within your own state, even within your own city, even within the same block. Fuel can vary by 15, 20. When I was in California, I did a video where fuel was 60 cents. There was a 60 cent difference in 87 octane unleaded fuel literally across the intersection from each other. I mean, so I could show you one fuel price sign, scroll the camera, and the next one was 60 cents different. So that literally was on, like I said, right kitty corner on the same intersection. So that fuel surcharge dropping to 10 cents per mile is substantial, and it doesn't necessarily match what's happening in the market. So different things like that, I don't think they're going to recover soon. You got the brokers, like I said, they're paying ridiculous rates. They can sense the desperation in the drivers that are out here that are remaining. Drivers who are maybe foreign drivers or things like that, who are living 10 to a house or something crazy like that, or full-time living in a van. They don't have a stationary residence. They can run for 60 cents. If you got a piece of crap vehicle, you know, $5,000 van, no van payment, no home, no kids to worry about, you can run 67 cents profitable all day long. And it will literally crush guys like myself who have a, still a fairly new van, 2018 van with a hefty van payment to go along with it. I could not continue running like that. And a lot of guys can't continue running like that. So it's going to take some time before the business catches up to paying guys like us properly, because they got so many guys like that out there. So running cheap freight is something that the brokers are going to get used to, and they're going to have a hard time letting go of. So that's another reason why I'm in a shirt and tie, looking elsewhere for other things. One of the other things I'm concerned about, and you guys can respond to this stuff in the comments. I would love to hear your answers. What are you doing in regards to, if you're sitting up? This is for those who are sitting up, or for those who are in service but getting very, very few loads. What are you doing for vehicle insurance and in regards to your escrow? Because even though you're not running loads, your escrow is still being subtracted from, you're still due to pay car insurance. Now, I know a lot of folks who are driving their regular, typical, everyday cars, they are getting, places like Geico and State Farm are sending people either cash back or giving them some discounts on their insurance, because people are not driving as much. I mean, there's nowhere to go on the weekend. So if you're working, you're going to work and literally coming home, or you may not be going to work at all. So I guess I would say the least amount of time you're behind the wheel, it reduces the chances of you being involved in an accident. So statistically, your insurance company should give you a discount. I mean, you're driving a hell of a lot less miles per year. We drive in this industry about 100,000 miles a year. During this time, you're certainly not doing what you normally, if this continues throughout the rest of the year, hardly anybody in the business is going to say I drove 100,000 miles in 2020. Virtually nobody is. I mean, it's just nowhere near enough work. So with you driving such fewer miles, you should get some type of discount. Just like with the brokers, they're not necessarily going to pass that savings on to you, but technically you should get that. So I'm just wondering, what are you guys doing for that, and what do you think the rates are going to be for the future? I would love to hear your comments on that. And what are you doing in the meantime? Are you looking for a job? Are you sharpening up your skills? Maybe I don't want to necessarily say going back to school, but there are different things you can learn online to sharpen your skills should you leave this particular field. And like I said earlier in the video, nobody wants to leave this field. We get freedoms in this field that are very difficult to duplicate throughout corporate America. You're not going to be able to, everything from use the phone to listen to the radio as loud as you possibly can while driving. You're not going to get those type of freedoms while you're at work in any other corporate job. So it does make leaving this particular industry very difficult from that aspect. You could certainly make a hell of a lot more money. So if money is your only concern, you probably shouldn't have been an expediter in the first place. But yeah, I mean, like I said, as you can see, my vehicle here, I've put a lot of personal hours of work and I would say blood, sweat, and tears, because I would be quite sad if I had to come up off of the mobile man cave and become stationary. But it's looking more like that than not. And I'm assuming I'm probably not the only one. A lot of you guys out there are driving for other people, so you've probably, at this point in time, handed the keys back over to the owner of the vehicle, or you're getting close, because you're not moving the vehicle for the owner, so it might as well not even be in your possession. So those different things are probably starting to come to mind. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this one. But I would love to know what you guys are out there doing as far as what are you doing for work, and how are you managing for your own operators? How are you managing with the insurance payments and dealing with your escrow? Just the knowledge. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about the escrow, but just the knowledge that every week that goes by, you're literally losing hundreds of dollars per month in escrow. I don't know, you say you pay a couple $100s for insurance, you got workers' comp, you got whatever you got through your particular company you're brokering or you're subcontracting through. You are losing at least that much. And not per month you're certainly losing. You're losing it per week. I just thought about that. Hell, some places, I used to work for a company where your insurance costs are $140, $150 a week. So every week you would be losing that. So, and for you owner operators, I assume if you're running, I am an owner operator, but I'm subcontracted. But for you owner operators that are running with, non-exclusive companies, you actually can call places like Progressive and things like that and just chop your insurance all the way down to just liability. I mean, if you're not running any freight, you can temporarily suspend freight insurance. I've done it before. So just a recommendation for you, for those who have that option, drop your shit down to just liability. If you know you're not going to run a load for a week, that's a week of that. You got to have $1 million, $2 million with some companies of cargo insurance. You don't need that if you're not having any cargo. So I would highly recommend you call your insurance company, suspend that shit, and then put it back on once you start taking loads. And they will do that, because I've done it, I think 2 or 3 times when my vehicle was under repair. Anyway, look forward to hearing your comments. Maybe we can jog together sometime. I'll be the best dressed out there on the jogging land, and we can talk then. I'm going to go ahead and stop this.